Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
RoadGuru.com. Lots to talk about today. As usual, bad guys had a little tamp down job on silver today. It was up at 31. Can't let it go to 32. How dare they? Rustin Benham, I'm sure, gave a little nod to his rigger friends at the on the bullion bank side, and I'll go over who it is. It's very obvious to see, but it does shift hands. I call it the silver hot potato. It's a silver short position that is required to run our global financial unbacked fiat system. But first, before we get into that, as expected, I said this as soon as it happened. We wait to figure out what the real story is behind the events of this weekend. Good discussion on Zero Hedge. Secret Service explanations for security failures not adding up. Department of Homeland Security inspector launches an investigation. Of course, it was an inside job, and nothing about this is real. It's all fake, from the good guy's perspective and the bad guy's perspective. No, of course, Trump was not in danger, but it's pretty clear to me now that this is a setup for the Secret Service, because the Secret Service had was taken control of by the bad guys. And I think this is a way to get the bad guys out of the Secret Service. Maybe. Who knows? There's, like everything, there's 50 different plots going on at the same time. Clearly the story they're feeding us is a fake story. And here's a real bizarre one. So the Secret Service director is this woman named Kimberly Cheadle, who had a new directive when she got in: diversity hires. You have to hire more women. Blah 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 blah. Kind of like Ventress Gibson at the U.S. Mint. That's why she was brought in, and the whole operation goes to shit. And I'll show you that in a second. Do you know that the U.S. Mint hasn't been able to create one silver eagle all month? Not one. Why? Because they probably have that short position. If they sell a silver eagle, if they're running their hedge book legally and correctly, they have to close out a short position. And yes, this U.S. Mint is probably the big number one short player in silver right now. But listen to what she says about why that building wasn't protected. This is just shocking.
Should that roof have been secure, period?
That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. And so, there's a safety factor that would be considered there, that we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof.
What? This is the head of the Secret Service. It's supposed to be like the most professional human being on the planet as far as protecting presidents and ex-presidents. And she says, they can't go up on a sloped roof.
So, the decision was made to secure the building from inside.
Secure the building from inside. What does that even mean? This is 100% in operation. Everybody should know it. And by the way, the snipers behind Trump, does that look like a slope roof to you? It's a bigger slope. Apparently that's not a slope roof, but this is a slope roof. It's a lie. Everything is a lie now. Everything is a lie. So what will this do? I think the main thing was to get the Secret Service, take out the bad guys. But who knows? There could be 100 different operations going on at the same time. And there most likely is. Speaking of operations, Janet Yellen was a little upset that the price of silver went to closing in on $32, so she set her minions out to slam it. It's so easy to slam silver. You click a mouse. You drop, let's say, 500 million ounces of electronic silver on the market. Use the Exchange Stabilization Fund with your bullion banks. Voila. You got to do it with Bitcoin too, though. Don't forget Bitcoin, and they did a little bit. They want you to think this is free market trading. It's bullshit. This is not free market trading. There's no such thing as free market trading on the planet anymore of any item that on an exchange. That's why Reggie Middleton's invention is so important. Peer-to-peer transactions. You don't need the rigging of markets. You don't need the criminals running the show. I heard Trump might elect or might appoint Jamie Dimon as the head of Treasury. I mean, stuff like that is just so ridiculous. It tells you exactly what's happening. It's a show. It's a con. Good guys and bad guys. Nobody knows the truth. They don't want you to see the truth. The truth will set you free, and you can't be free. You have to be under their control, under their spin. So yeah, that the whole Jamie Dimon as Trump's. I mean, Jamie Dimon is the arch enemy of Trump and the cabal. He controls the banking system. Trump wants to control the banking system. He controls it through Jeffrey Epstein type of situations, shall we say. The entire board of J.P. Morgan is involved. And it's through the Epstein stuff. They used to call him, the Epstein girls used to call him Jamie Demon because he was so perverse. Got to dig deeper, my friends. It's crazy. All right, back to silver. So India is buying, I would assume now, if they get it under $30 is their buy point. They're 17 cents away. They probably started buying already. Now, if they do the big slam, they got to get under the 100-day moving average, which is $28.10. And then India will really kick it in. And, of course, the coup de grace under the 200-day moving average is $25.65. Then India will buy 100% of the silver, no matter how much is offered. So my guess would be they'd go 600 million ounces of silver. I would highly expect everybody to do that. Anybody who's looking into trying to get into silver at a cheap price, you hit that 200-day moving average with your derivative click of a mouse at what is it? The 200 is at 25.65. There it is. You get under that, and I don't know any of the big players who wouldn't be buying, especially the people who are shorting. Because that's what they're trying to do now. They got to get out of that short position and fast. Might as well use the U.S. government operations, like what was done over the last couple days, to close out your position. Oh, by the way, okay, so I want to show you this. Who is it that had that short, VIX? Who is it that had the short? Well, we know, on the COMEX at least, we know who were a couple of the very big players. And it's the same people, exact same people. The customer, there's one single customer of HSBC, Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, the original rigger of silver back in the 1850s. Look at all the last 7 months, they have been the number one entity delivering physical silver, means they were the number one short that held it into close. Total of 8,174 contracts. That's 41 million ounces just on the COMEX delivered by HSBC, Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, a customer of theirs. Now, who is the customer? It could be the U.S. Mint. It could be BlackRock. It could be one of the other deep state operations. I don't know who it is. It is a customer, though, theoretically. At least it says it is. And they did, I mean, look at this one. In this month, this is the month of May, HSBC, with their customer and their own house account, had to deliver, what is that, over 3,000 contracts, which is 15 million ounces in a single month from one entity. So clearly HSBC is knee-deep in the rigging. We know about JP Morgan. Who else was there? Well, back before they changed the OCC data, we see who it is. JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Citibank, and Bank of America. Those were the four big guys. Bank of America, now this is before they changed the OCC data. I'm going to show you what happened after. JP Morgan, obviously the largest rigger of silver at $28 billion worth of silver, is a massive amount of silver. That's like, what is that? Over a billion ounces of silver. And Ted Butler talked about that a lot. And then Bank of America over the past few years has come to have the same amount. So basically, JP Morgan leased the silver to Bank of America in a structured deal. I don't know what the back end is. It could be a fair market value purchase back end. It could be a fixed back end. Part of it definitely was fixed because the same year that JP Morgan paid the $920 million fine, they booked over $1 billion in gains in their metals trading operation. That's how the game is played, my friends. Yes, They'll take a hit. Who cares? It's the cost of doing business. Pay fines to the CFTC, and the CFTC will never stop people beforehand. They only stop people after the fact, and if they're afraid that they'll get caught, they have to put up a little window dressing that says, "Yes, we're doing our job." It's ridiculous. So definitely, and then so this is fourth quarter of 2021 before they made the change. The change is they moved all the gold derivatives and changed them, put them in with the silver so that you couldn't tell what was going on. And they did it in the first quarter of 2022, which you will see here. So this is 2021 fourth quarter. 28 billion from JP Morgan, 5 billion from Goldman Sachs, 7 billion from Citibank, and 28 billion from Bank of America. Now the next quarter, look at the numbers. JP Morgan, 330 billion. So they lumped gold in there with it. Goldman, pretty much the same, 6 billion, just a little bit. Citibank, huge difference. 114 billion, meaning Citibank was knee deep in gold derivatives. And a lot of these are give and take. So they'll take a few $1 billion hits in silver, but they'll gain it back in an agreement with other people in gold. So this month, Citi will lose $1 billion here and gain $1 billion here. And that's how the game is played. And they collude together. And the kind of the ringleader of the operation is a company called Virtu Financial. Used to be EWC LLC. A guy named Vinny Viola runs it. Yeah, another deep state criminal. Another guy that Trump, I think he tried to appoint Vinny Viola as the head of the Navy or the Army, but he was caught up in the West Point scandal. I mean, the whole thing is so ridiculous. It's annoying and infuriating, but at the same time, if you can see through the bullshit and you get your silver in your own possession, you're sitting on the sidelines, stuff like this doesn't even matter. So, look at this. Look at the single day. Look at the dump they did. Come on now. There it is. That's what you call a dump of. Look at all the red lines. Massive red amount. That is literally the rigger clicking one mouse saying, I think I'm going to bring silver down a little bit. Click. And all these sale contracts go instantly on the market. If you own metal and you want to sell it, theoretically you want to get the highest price possible, right? You don't dump it all in a single dump like right here. I mean, you want to know who did it, just go to who was the trader that dumped it at that point in time. I'll guarantee you it's HSBC, JP Morgan. See, I don't know what Citibank does because Citibank never delivers. They have a massive silver position, but they're never seen in the delivery. Very little. Let's see. Where is Citibank? I might have already passed it. Sure, it's right here. Standard Chartered, by the way. Standard Chartered was also a massive deliverer. That is a long time silver short position. They go to mining and buy mining production so that they can help rig the market. Citi's not even on here. I don't even see it. Nope, they're not even there. And they have one of the largest silver short positions, or silver positions, derivative positions. Most likely they just play the paper game. So I don't see them. Oh, there they are. Citigroup Global Market. Look at that. Hardly anything they ever do. And yet they're sitting there with a silver position of, at least in the fourth quarter of 2021, and it had been there for a long time, $7 billion. And yet they never have to deliver, never have to do anything. So if you want to know who changed this to hide the numbers, it's this guy right here. Number 2 guy at the OCC, Office of Comptroller of Currency. Yes, the U.S. government. Your tax money is paying for the rigging of the gold and silver markets. Doesn't that piss you off? This guy, Greg Coleman. It's funny, when I first discovered this guy, it was when the change happened. I'm like, this little bastard. And I looked at his bio and it said he worked for JP Morgan. And it had an old picture, like a 20-year-old picture when he was young and had dark hair, a full head of hair. And then I started talking about him like a week later. They changed the picture because I kept laughing at his picture. Yes, the bad guys are watching the Road to Ruta all the time. Absolutely. So is Bank of China. Bank of China used to be a Road to Ruta member back in the day. It's crazy, huh? Anyway, yeah, this is the guy, Greg Coleman. He is in charge of, he's the senior deputy comptroller for large bank supervision at the Office of Comptroller of Currency. They took out the, there, it's still in there, okay. He previously served as director with the Credit Market Risk Division in the Office of Chief National Bank Examiner and as the lead capital markets team at, drumroll please, JP Morgan Chase. So him and Jamie Dimon are buddies. That's how these banks operate. They put their people as the heads of the CFTC, the heads of the OCC, the head of the Treasury. It's a joke. It's a con. It's embarrassing for my country, and it's going to end ugly for the United States of America, especially for the deep state and anybody with money in the bank. Get your money out of the bank. So great discount on silver today. If it goes below 30, I expect India to buy. They bought 7 million ounces last month. If it goes under 30, probably 20 million ounces. If it goes under the moving averages, I would say they'd load up on 300 to 400 million ounces. And they've done it before. Then that would be massive. That would be game over. So you kind of want to root for the price of silver to get lower because, number one, you can buy it cheaper. And number two, it's going to end the game faster. The lower the price goes, the more physical is taken completely off the market. And that's what will win the game, the end of physical, the availability of physical silver. All right, and here's the mint data as of today, 2024 Silver Eagles, 0. They have sold 0 Silver Eagles in July. It's so sad and pathetic and embarrassing. Ventress Gibson heads the department, and she has no experience running a mint or being involved with a mint. She's been an HR professional her whole life. It was HR, and she was hired to create diversity, kind of like the Secret Service. You know, who'd they hire? The woman who runs Secret Service. She's all, a Biden diversity person. Oh, we need more women in the Secret Service. Yeah, how'd that do? How'd that go over? Anyway, interesting. Germany deployed 7.7 gigawatts of solar in the first half, up like 10% or so. But remember, that's like 50% of silver, because now they're not installing the PERC solar panels anymore. It's pretty much all TOPCon. And TOPCon uses silver on both sides, and it's I think it's 40. Every panel is different, and it depends which PERC you're judging it by. Usually, I'll just say it's 50% more silver than the past, because some have more, some have less. Because not all TOPCons are created equal, believe it or not. But yeah, so the amount of solar installations is continuing to increase, even with the crazy year last year. But the amount of silver in those panels is increasing at a dramatic dramatic amounts. So India, who's going to build out, they swear up and down they're going to build out their solar thing for at least the next 20 years. They're building manufacturing capacity in India to make solar panels, and they're building it all TOPCon. So they're building facilities also to make the silver paste. So yeah, it's not stopping. No matter what the metals focus idiots say, or the Silver Institute of Criminality says, that's a lie. Solar silver is probably going to consume 5 to 600 million ounces this year. And then that leaves nothing for the investors. Sorry, you can't have any silver, as the U.S. Mint shows us. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's going to be industrials buying it on the secret, which is happening right now. And then all of a sudden I'll get out, silver will hit $40 and people will say, oh my God, why is silver going up? Maybe it's the end of 175 years of price manipulation. I know it is. Anyway, also just to give you an update on where these derivatives are, the derivative market ultimately will destroy the entire monetary system. Maybe that's why Donald Trump said he's going to name Jamie Dimon as head of the Treasury. Somebody's got to be to blame, and they have to be bright and center in the focus. Goldman Sachs has the largest derivative book at the moment, but those are all, the 99.9% of it are literally side bets, back and forth. They all cancel each other out, whereas JP Morgan Chase is more a rigging type of derivative book, and that's $55 trillion. These are trillion. $55 trillion. It's just the insanity of the whole thing. What it costs humanity to keep the Western system afloat is just shocking. Shocking, I say. All right. I am announcing today that today will be the last day to get your Veritasium tokens. It is the 17th. Last day to get Veritasium. We, starting midnight tonight, Pacific time, we're going to give away, I'm going to say it. Amy said, not that much, but we're going to give away 10 Theta. 10 Theta, 100 Theta fuel, and 1,000 T-drop. 10 Theta, 100 Theta fuel, 1,000 T-drop, loaded on a paper wallet. You'll see all that information tomorrow, or if you stay up till midnight Pacific time, you'll see it hit the wall. So if you want your Veritasium, now's the time to do it. And we give these away with every subscription, 1-year subscription, or renewal. And then tomorrow we're going to start I don't know how long that's going to last. As Theta starts to run into September is going to be crazy for Theta. We will change the amount we give away, but we're going to go with Theta for a while because I think it's so important to have it. Veritasium is your lottery ticket. Theta is your, I don't guarantee it, but if you're interested in the future of humanity moving into a high-tech future, Theta's the call, in my opinion. That's all I got for you. Go to roadtoroota.com, click on subscribe today. I'll talk to you later.